As social media becomes embraced by business of all kinds, it becomes part of business writing communication. But social media changes so quickly that I can't really talk about how to use Snapchat or Twitter in specific because there will always be a new platform or updates on the old. Social media increasingly becomes a business tool. It can offer direct connection to customers, personalization, and personality. It can also backfire in some terrible ways. Here are 4 tips to avoid train wrecks in corporate social media. First, save yourself from yourself, know your audience and your authorship, and be aware of the media you use. Finally, peer review your ideas, especially if there's even the smallest chance they could be offensive. These 4 principles will help guide you in your social media use, both as an individual and for the organizations you represent. First, save yourself from yourself. The first principle is to not hit send in any circumstances that you will regret. A nice acronym to remember is HALT. Don't post when you're hungry, angry, liquored up, or tired. This is when most mistakes happen. Really, it's best to avoid doing anything permanent in these states. And social media is permanent. Even if you go back and delete a post, it was out there publicly, and people will pick up on it right away. If you're tempted to post in any of these states, try to stop yourself. You can even install apps on your phone to protect you. Check out the link in Liquored Up to some suggested apps, including ones that will keep you from posting on social media. Remember, a post lasts longer than a mood. Second, know your audience and also your authorship. You may be familiar with the expression know your audience. After all, since the first day of rhetoric class, we've been telling you to research the audience, what they would find appealing and what they would find appalling. This is very, very true for business posting. But in addition, you're posting on behalf of a company, so you need to consider your authorship. Instead of writing for yourself, you're representing somebody else. So you might remember the example in the book about a KitchenAid employee posting controversial political opinions on the official social media. You can have your own opinions, but you have to think twice about what the official position of the company is when you post. This is a great example of someone both posting in anger, not halting, and ignoring authorship. If a private person was angry during their commute and posted this, you would find it a little distasteful perhaps, but it wouldn't be cause to fire them. But when Chrysler's head of social media posts this on their company Twitter account, it's a train wreck. Look closely at this profile picture. Imported from Detroit was Chrysler's slogan at the time, and it was proudly supporting Detroit. Now it looks like the company, not the individual, but the company is railing against the very people making their cars. Not classy. Another important thing to be aware of is what kind of media you use. Remember from the book, the Cisco hiree who complained on Twitter about the commute and the work and then tastelessly reveled in the fatty paycheck. She apologized later, said that she was using Twitter, a very public medium, in the way that she used Facebook, a slightly more private one. Here's another example of this. In this case, Twitter's CFO accidentally publicly tweeted out what was supposed to be a direct message to somebody else in the company, and it was about something as sensitive as a merger and acquisition. Mergers are high stakes and confidential, and this was sent out to the world. Be very aware of the medium you use. Incidentally, this also is an example of somebody who posted something out, and in 40 seconds, it gets retweeted by somebody else, which then gets retweeted over 700 times. Even though this was out very short, it got picked up very fast. Another important thing to be aware of is the kind of medium you use. Remember, sorry, I moved on. Peer review before you post. This is an important principle too. Um, you may not realize what you're doing until you post it. This terrible Nineveh campaign sounds like white supremacism. They were immediately brought to task and the company suffered. It would have been much better if they slowed down and showed the post to a few more people, including, I would hope, people of color, before releasing it. Similar mistakes, like American Apparel's picture of Challenger explosion or Adidas congratulating people on surviving the Boston Marathon, could have been avoided by running it by someone else before posting it. We all have blind spots, but hopefully peer review can help us find them. So now you're terrified of bad social media. Let's focus on what's positive instead. You're going to want to come up with a brand and a goal and a plan that relates to that brand. Is it going to be snarky and sassy like Wendy's Twitter account? Is it going to be inspirational? What would be the slogan of your social media presence? This applies to organizations as well as to private entrepreneurs. Consider how a personal trainer's individual style might be incorporated into their social media. Are they all about tough love and being hardcore, or are they encouraging and friendly? You also, of course, want to focus on the audience. What will they need? What will they want? Finally, good social media can humanize you. You'll want to admit your mistakes on social media and move forward. Now, social media isn't always the answer. You'll want to think about the medium for any of your messages. Do you want it to last forever in a place where people can find it easily? Maybe a website is the best choice. If something's confidential or sensitive, a phone call or a personal meeting would be best. Many things don't even really fit on social media. They belong in a different case. So there you have it. Social media can be a very useful tool, but you want to watch yourself carefully and make sure that you're using it the best way possible.